The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race is officially concluded from Bristol Motor Speedway, and we see a lot of fantastic side-by-side racing up front, and Layne Riggs goes back-to-back. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race in Bristol Motor Speedway, the UNOH 200. We have quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So, for the green flag drop in today's race, Caden Honeycutt and Ty Majeski would have to go to the rear of the field. So at the start of the race, you had Connor Zilisch lead the field from the outside with Corey Heim on the inside, and Connor Zilisch got a fantastic start and was able to clear for the race lead. Connor would dominate the early portion of this race, but as the traffic started coming in on lap 41, Corey Heim got a fantastic run on Connor Zilisch and was able to pass him for the race lead. And then the cars started going all over the place. It was really fun to watch. You had guys on the outside. You had guys on the inside making some really good moves, making crossovers. It was a really fun end to stage number one. Roger Kroof got a really great run on Connor Zilisch to get up to second, and eventually with about 6 or 7 laps to go in the stage number one, he got a great run on Corey Heim and was able to pass him for the lead. Christian Eckes made a huge bonsai move to get up to third position, but Roger pulled out a pretty big lead, and coming off the corner, Roger Kroof would win stage number one. So during this caution, every lead lap car would come down pit road except Timmy Hill, and Corey Heim also won the race on pit road, followed by Roger Kroof and Christian Eckes. So then on the restart, you had Timmy Hill lead the field from the outside with Corey Heim on the inside, and Corey Heim got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, a few laps later, there was a little contact between Connor Jones and Grant Enfinger going off of turn number 2, but they were able to continue and the caution would not come out. And then Corey Heim got a really big lead, about half a second or 1 second, and was starting to pull away from Roger. But eventually, with how good Roger's truck was on the long run, he was starting to make some inroads up to the front and got a great run, and he challenged Corey Heim for the race lead for about 5 to 10 laps. But eventually, Roger just got stuck behind in traffic and lost all the ground that he gained, and Corey Heim was able to retake the race lead with Christian Eckes battling Roger for second. And then the first caution, for instance, would come out lap 110 when Connor Zilisch spun in turn number 3 and 4 from fifth position. He got turned by Nick Sanchez going into turn number 3. Took Fox, for whatever reason, a long time to show that replay. I don't know what Nick Sanchez is doing there. That's the second straight truck race that Connor has been wrecked by his teammate. Remember, Richmond, Chase Purdy had actually dumped Connor at Richmond. So that's second race in a row. I don't know what Nick was doing there. That was just unnecessary. Nick did take responsibility for that, but that was a little uncalled for, in my honest opinion. So that would end stage number 2, and coming out the final corner, Corey Heim would win stage number 2. So then during this caution, a couple guys would come down pit road, including Nick Sanchez, Connor Mosack, and Corey Day also came down pit road. Connor Mosack got a penalty for too fast entering, and Corey Day, who was making his Truck Series debut, got penalized for a safety violation. So then on the restart, Corey Heim lead the field from the outside with Christian Eckes on the inside, and Corey Heim got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. But he had a new hard charger coming up to the front, and that was Layne Riggs. He stayed right behind Corey Heim for a few laps, and then eventually Layne Riggs got a fantastic run on the outside and was able to clear for the lead with 81 laps to go, and he started pulling away. And then we saw some really good racing throughout the field, and guys moving up to the field like Nick Sanchez, who were starting to move up through the field. And eventually Layne Riggs got the traffic, and the guys behind him were starting to catch him. But then everything would change with 45 laps to go when Daniel Dye had a flat tire coming off of turn number 4, had basically spun out, and Caden Honeycutt had nowhere to go and ran completely into the back of him. This would unfortunately end Caden Honeycutt's day. It would have a very long caution that I feel like a red flag should have come out for that at that point, but they did not throw a red flag, and the caution would come out, and this hurt Daniel Dye's chances going farther into the playoffs. Daniel Dye would come down pit road to try to get some repairs on the truck, but his chance to win would officially be over. So then on the next restart, we had some guys actually come down pro, Grant Enfinger, Bailey Curry, Tanner Gray. But on the next restart with 30 laps to go, you have Layne Riggs lead the field from the outside with Corey Heim on the inside. And Layne Riggs got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the lead. Corey Heim challenged for a lap, but eventually Layne was able to clear for the race lead. And it looked like Layne Riggs was going to scoot away to victory. But then the final caution of the race come out with 19 laps to go when Jack Wood spun from basically turn 3 to turn number 4 when Ben Rhodes got into the back of him. Ben Rhodes just completely sent it there. He just completely tried to dump them, probably wanting a caution, so he probably get the wave runs. He thought people were going to come down pit road. He would turn Jack Wood, bringing the final caution out. So then on the final restart with 13 laps to go, Layne Riggs lead the field from the outside with Corey Heim on the inside, and Layne Riggs got a fantastic restart. And Roger Kroof tried to send it 3 wide to the bottom to the inside, and he unfortunately lost a little ground and fell back to third, with Layne Riggs being able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, Jake Garcia brushed the outside wall in turn number 2, but was able to continue going. And Layne Riggs started pulling out to about a 1-second lead and got a huge lead. And as coming to the white flag, Layne Riggs had about a 1-second lead. They were doing what they could to try to battle for second between Corey Heim and Roger Kroof, but they didn't have anything for him. And coming off the final corner, Layne Riggs picks up his second win of the 2024 season, goes back-to-back, picks up his second career Truck Series win. There's a really good battle at the end between Corey Heim and Roger Kroof, with Corey Heim barely holding off a hard-charging Roger Kroof at the end of this race. Talk about a great stretch for Layne Riggs. In the last 6 races, Layne Riggs had 5 top 5 finishes, and he's led over 100 laps combined in the last 2 races. They started year off not very good. But recently, they found something. And I'm telling you, going to next year, because it was confirmed on the broadcast during practice that Layne is going to be back in a 38 truck next year, I think Layne is really going to be a championship contender because they have found something in his 38 team. They fired a lot of people at the end of last year. They made some reshuffling going into 2024, and it's all starting to pay off for this 38 team. Layne's been impressive the last couple weeks. He's probably been the best truck driver, honestly, the last 5 or 6 races combined at this point. He's been really impressive. Congratulations to Layne Riggs on going back-to-back. He's really getting in his own, and it's really impressive to watch and see what Layne Riggs can do. Congratulations to him on getting his second career Truck Series win. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the race results. Again, my score and thoughts on tonight's race. So Layne Riggs picks up the victory. Corey Heim finished second. A really good night for Corey Heim. He has locked himself into the next round with a really strong run. Corey had one of the best trucks in the field. Just didn't have anything for Layne Riggs at the end of the day. But a great bounce and run after some iffy performances recently. A good day for Corey. He finishes in second. Roger Kroof finishes third. I think Roger, for a lot of this race, had the best long run truck, but with the end not having enough long runs, I don't think he had a chance and an opportunity to get up there, but it was one of Roger's best performances in recent weeks. He gained a lot of points on the cutoff line as well. I believe he's like 35 or 36 points above the cutoff line. A really good night for Roger. It was good here last year as well. Great night for Roger. He finishes in third. Christian Eckes finishes fourth. He was my pick coming into this race. He wasn't as strong as I thought he was going to be. He had about a third or fourth place truck, so still a really solid night for Christian. But the good news for Christian, he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. It was a pretty solid night for him. He finishes in fourth. Good day for Christian Eckes. Nick Sanchez finishes fifth. Outside of that incident with Connor Zilch, it was still a really good night for Nick. He took tires and got up to the top 5. I don't think he would have anything for Layne or Corey at the end, but still a really good point save for Nick. He finishes in fifth. Solid night for him. Matt Crafton finishes sixth. Backs up a top 5 earlier this year, Bristol, with a 6th place run. One of his best runs so far of the year. It's been a struggling year for the 88 team so far, but they ran good tonight. They had good pace. They were basically the best 4-sport truck all night long. A really good night for Matt. He finishes in 6th. Chase Purdy finishes 7th. A quite solid night for him, honestly. Ran top 10, top 15 majority of the night. Plays some strategy at the end and gets a really solid top 10 and 7th place. Good run for Chase Purdy. Ty Majeski finished 8th. They struggled a lot of this race, but they made that truck better, and he got in the top 10. He salvaged a not great race, in my opinion, but he does come over the top 10, finishing 8th. Pretty solid night. I think he's also pretty much locked into the next round, if I'm not mistaken, with a good run tonight. He finished 8th. Good night for him. Stuart Friesen finished 9th. Solid night for him in our top 10. This team has also been building throughout the second half of the year. They've had more pace and speed. A pretty good night. He finishes 9th. And Tyler Anker finished 10th. They struggled early in this race. And they're running as far back as 20th. So they made that truck a lot better. And they come home in a top 10 run. Pretty good night for Tyler Anker. Williams Walsh finished 11th. He was really good early in this race, but it seemed like some of the adjustments they made that truck worse. He still had a decent night, though. He finished 11th. Taylor Gray finished 12th. Just kind of a disappointing night for him. I expected him to be a lot better tonight than he was, considering how good he was at Richmond earlier this year. He finished 12th. Not a bad day, but not a great day overall. Brett Holmes with a decent night tonight, finishes in 13th. Dean Thompson finishes 14th. Bailey Curry finishes in 15th. Seven Parsons finished 16th, qualified pretty decently, and ran top 20. Grant Enfinger finished 17th, a disappointing night for Grant. I expected Grant to be a contender considering how well he was at the end of the regular season. He's not been as strong these first couple races. He's in danger, in my opinion, of probably making it to the next round. Unfortunately, he finished 17th. Not a great night for him. Corey Day finished 18th. I did think Corey was going to do a little better tonight, to be honest, but he did improve as the night went on. He qualified 20th, fell as far back as 28th because of the penalty, but they did recover a little bit to finish in 18th. Not a bad debut, all things considered. He's probably going to get better as he progresses and goes on. Remember, he's only made 5 starts on asphalt at this point, and the more experience he gets, the better he's going to get. A solid debut for him in 18th. Could have been better, but not a bad night, all things considered. Connor Zilisch finished 19th. I think Connor had a top 5 truck, but unfortunately when he spun out, he went a lap down, and because there was not a lot of cautions, he never really got that chance and opportunity to get back up front. He does get a top 20 though, 19th. Not a bad, just really not a good day overall for him, considering he lost the ARCA East Championship as well because of people in front of him that are lapped down, causing incidents. He finished 19th, could have been a lot better, but I do think he had a better truck than where he finished in the race. And Connor Mosack finished 20th. Jake Garcia finished 21st, continues to struggle in the 13 truck. We all expect him to do a lot better than Haley Deegan, and he's really not been much better than Haley Deegan, in all honesty, this year. Timmy Hill finished 22nd, Tanner Gray finished 23rd, Wallace Allen finished 24th, Matt Mills finished 25th, Jack Wood finished 26th, Ben Rhodes finished 27th. A disastrous night for Ben Rhodes. He ran outside the top 20 all night long, was at one point as low as 30th in this race, and went 2 laps down. They're in a must-win situation going into next week's race at Kansas. They've been solid at Kansas in the past. They need to run as good as they did last time we were here. They weren't that great tonight. He finished 27th, just a disastrous night overall. Justin Mondag finished 28th. Spencer Boyd finished 29th. Ty Dillon finished 30th. Another bad night. Matty D had done a lot better in this truck. He had a bad night overall for Ty Dillon. He finished 30th. Mason Maggio finished 31st. Daniel Dye, after his issues, he finished 32nd. Keith McGee finished 33rd. Tyler Tomasi finished 34th. Caden Honeycutt, after having his issues, finished 35th. And finishing last in 36th place is Connor Jones. So now we're talking about the overall race as a whole. I'll give my score and thoughts on tonight's race. Honestly, tonight's Truck Series race at Bristol was really, really good. Had a lot of great racing throughout the field, had a lot of side-by-side up front, had a lot of comers and goers as well. You had a lot of guys moving throughout the field, making moves on the outside, the inside. The lap traffic made the race really entertaining and really interesting, and it was still a very clean race. The one issue I do have with this race is the fact they probably could have red flagged it a little bit. I think a little bit of a red flag would have been a smart decision, all things considered. But outside of that, I thought it was a very solid race. A really short race, too. It was an hour, 20 minutes long. Maybe they could extend it to maybe 25 extra laps. That wouldn't be a bad decision, in my opinion. Maybe make the race a little longer. But still a pretty good race overall. I'm giving tonight's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race an 8. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was a pretty fun race tonight. A lot of movers, a lot of great racing. I hope they don't bring any more PJ1 backs. It really made the race entertaining. I've given this a 9 out of 10. So, that is going to be tonight's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race review from Bristol Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, to notify when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What's your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Layne Riggs on going back-to-back. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have reactions to Xfinity Series qualifying and Cup Series qualifying. We'll also have the Xfinity review and most likely an SVG video dropping as well. Then on Saturday, we'll have the Cup Series race review and the starting lineup as well. And if any other major news breaks throughout these next couple days, we'll discuss here live on the channel. And remember, on Sunday, we're doing a NASCAR silly season predictions for 2025 as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.